Leadership in Action, where we spotlight visionary leaders shaping the future of Guyana and the Caribbean. I'm Amrita, I'm the Chief Projects Officer of Action Invest Caribbean, and I'm joined with Mr. Andre Cummings, the innovative CEO of Floor-It Guyana. Starting from a lumber export business, Andre transformed his venture into a premier provider for home improvement solutions. And under his leadership, Floor-It has not only expanded its product line, but also earned the prestigious 2023 BizX America Award for Best Import-Export Company. So, Mr. Cummings, can you describe the experiences or influences in your upbringing, or maybe some early career investments that have shaped who you are as a leader and as an entrepreneur?
Okay, Amrita, thank you for inviting me here. Early experiences, I grew up with my father at a drugstore or pharmacy who sold other items as well. So I've gotten a first-hand look very young into the business experiences, observing him negotiating with suppliers, customer service, and, dealing with the banks and so on. So I've got an early knack, if you may, about business, and that has shaped the way I see life, and I always wanted to become an entrepreneur. And apart from that too, he was a bit on the rough side. So I told myself, as a leader, when I grow big, I would, establish a more soft touch to leadership and management.
I like that, softening your approach. Tell me, what was a pivotal challenge or a turning point in your journey and how you overcame it? Are there any key lessons to take away from that too?
Okay, so if I'm to think about a pivotal or a challenge that I've overcame in my journey, when I started with the export with business in 2008, right then that there was the recession. No one saw it coming. So orders reduced, prices fell, and I thought to myself, tough times call for tough situations and tough actions. So at the time, I had to decide to lower the costs of the wood. So I went into the interior myself with a scrambler to reach the chainsaw suppliers in order to get the wood at a cheaper price. And back then, if you know, there was a fine man whole fiasco in the bush there. And the police stopped me one time and asked me if I know this is a very dangerous trade I'm riding. So I said to him, officer, fine man doing what he has to do, and I have to do what I have to do. So what I've learned from that is that once you have a big enough why, right, nothing can really stop you. If you have a why behind what you do, and you have a goal and you have dreams, and you want to fulfill them, you should definitely press ahead and be very tenacious about what you do.
Right. I appreciate how you stay true to your vision and your mission. Yeah. So, what are some of those major trends or opportunities you see shaping the future of your industry and the Caribbean economy? How are you adapting your strategy?
Okay, so major trends in Guyana. Of course, we know Guyana is in the middle of an oil boom, and therefore there are a lot more disposable income in the consumers. What I've found that consumers are becoming more sophisticated. They're demanding a better quality of product and service. So that is why one of the things we did is to acquire the exclusive franchise for OPI, a home improvement, a whole house solution home improvement. Apart from that, we have embraced digital transformation to become more efficient with our processes, like the CRM, inventory management software and stuff like that, coupled with strong, solid management and leadership strategies.
Impressive. And what are some of those innovative strategies and approaches that you've implemented now that you believe will drive more growth and resilience in the organization and outside of that too?
All right, so it's very important to understand that behind all strategies and innovation, it's the people behind the scenes that actually producing the product or producing the service. So for me, it is developing the human capacity within your organization first, because you can have whatever plan you want and whatever strategy, but if the people aren't equipped to service the customer, to operate in a higher level of efficiency in all pillars of a business, marketing, HR, operations, finance, if they're not equipped to really handle the transformation, handle the processes and embrace technology and continue to learn, you're nowhere. So for me, the foundation is developing our human capacity in order to deliver.
Excellent. And how do you define and measure success and its impact beyond the financial results? How has your work contributed to that community and regional development as well?
For me, success beyond success isn't just measured by the figures and the numbers. It is the impact that is being created, in addition to having the figures. So for me, is measuring how your team members are growing, how are they developing themselves. Also, the community, we are involved in HR initiatives, so to be part of a bigger vision in terms of the economy and in Guyana at large.
Incredible. And in your view, what are some of the biggest opportunities and challenges for economic development in Guyana and the Caribbean, especially in light of your industry?
Right. So, of course, the oil boom is here, and there are lots of spin-off opportunities in this country in terms of businesses. I mean, first and foremost is the oil and gas industry, supply chain logistics. They can infrastructure. They can be large-scale farming, real estate, tourism, and all those things. The challenge is what I've found with traditional Guyanese businesses is they stuck in the old ways. I mean, things are changing rapidly and not embrace digital transformation. They, in terms of change management, leadership. So the thing is, and the business owners don't really want to learn. So, for example, if you're good at driving a car and you have a big, ambitious goal to drive a Formula One car, all of a sudden you realize that you were no good at all. So you have to do some learning, and that's the challenge I find with most businesses, especially traditional businesses, not willing to learn and grow and change.
How do you believe that the leaders and entrepreneurs who are taking on this challenge could better equip themselves to tackle them?
When they find themselves in a corner and they realize that there's no other place to go, then you have to really embrace change. Entrepreneurs should be more proactive and embrace it and be proactive, in that approach, in my opinion.
I agree. And what's one piece of advice or a mindset shift that you would offer to aspiring entrepreneurs?
Very good question. Aspiring entrepreneurs, mindset shift. Don't just look at the numbers. You need to embrace, for me, I think you should look at an impact, a legacy you want to build. Because for the modern workforce, they want to know it's not just about the salary. They want to know what impact you're making in society. They want to know how they can contribute. They want to be seen, understood, and heard. So the shift really is from like a hard fist management towards more one of collaboration and inclusion.
And Mr. Cummings, what are some of those daily habits and routines that you credit for staying productive, grounded, and continuously learning?
Daily habits, I think it has to do with a very strict time management regimen, right? Because there are so many distractions nowadays. So, like if it has to do with my morning routines with exercise, time for reflection, time investing with your loved ones. And another big one is the art of delegation, making sure your team are qualified, they know what they have to do, so you can always step away at any given time to find time for other things in life.
I quite like that. Could you share an example of something at the start of your career that really changed you as a person? What is a piece of advice that you would give to your younger self as well?
So my younger self, I will give an advice in terms of be very conscious of your association, right? When you were younger, basically there are three currencies. There's time, there's skill, and there's money. And when you're young, you have a lot of time, little money, and little to no skill. So invest your time, which is that currency, learn the skills so you can earn more money, definitely. So association is very important, and be very, very guard yourself against the people that you hang around with.
That's impressive. I think every young person can learn a lot from those wise words.
Definitely.
Could you share an example of a significant setback that you might have experienced and how did it transform your perspective?
A significant setback, I think in 2016, we had a tremendous fire at our manufacturing facility. That, we lost millions and millions of dollars there. And what I've learned from that experience is that you should always be prepared for unexpectations. The right amount of insurance, put aside cash for unforeseen circumstances, and since then, at the back of my mind, I always pay attention to cash flow and make sure that you have that buffer in case of challenges.
It's impressive how you've given it your all to help Florid grow in the best direction possible. Tell me, who has been an influential mentor to you? Your most influential for that matter. And what impact did they have on your journey?
My most, my most influential mentor, there's a couple of them, but that would have to be Jim Ron. Jim Ron talks and breathes about personal development and developing others around you. And for me, that was a kind of turning point for me, listening to him and taking in his learnings. One of the things Jim Ron would say is that don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. And the entire life's objective is to become as much as you can with all of you've given. So for me, Jim Ron, that would be.
Wonderful. Tell me how you balance your personal life and well being with the demands of leadership and entrepreneurship.
It goes back to time management. And what I found, a lot of persons don't really manage their time properly. And for me, Jim Ron mentioned, do not start the day unless it's finished. It simply means that you need to make a plan, like a weekly plan, a quarterly plan, a daily plan, an hourly plan, right? So you know exactly what is expected. You put in we call it the big frogs first, the most important things first. So once that is out of the way, there's time for other variables, I would say.
Impressive. And beyond the business goals, what drives you as a person? How do you keep that sense of purpose in your work?
I love the question. Beyond business goals, for me, is making a difference, leaving the world a better place than you find it. Every interaction, whether it's one-on-one or one-to-many, right? Laying an indelible impression in people's mind that there's better can be done. They can be the best version of themselves and really leave the world a better place and to be as much as you can with all that you've been given.
Such wise words. And looking ahead in about 5 to 10 years, what's the legacy or impact that you hope to leave in your field or in your community?
So the legacy I would like to leave in my field, in my community, one of the things is that we would like Florid to be known for the pioneering and driving force behind real customer experience. We know in Guyana, it's a cry with customer service, customer experience, employee development. So we would like to know the legacy we're leaving is that Florid is known for the company that cares about the employees, cares about the community, and really value customer service and from our heart. So that's the kind of legacy we want to be known for.
Incredible outlook, Mr. Cummings, and it's clear that your journey isn't just about building a business, but raising standards and empowering others through innovation and excellence. And thank you for joining us on Leadership in Action. Mr. Cummings' story exemplifies how vision, adaptability, and a commitment to excellence can drive meaningful impact in our communities. So if you found value in today's conversation, share this episode with others striving to make a difference. And until next time, keep leading with purpose and turning vision into action.